Multidisciplinary is a treatment protocol using the expertise of two different professions. In our case, it's chiropractic and medical joined together to treat the same condition from two different perspectives. For example, when a patient comes into our office with acute low back pain, this usually includes inflammation and muscle spasms. This makes the chiropractic adjustment difficult and sometimes uncomfortable. Instead of having to refer this patient to another clinic, they can be referred down the hall to my nurse practitioner, Jody.
At that point, I will medically evaluate the patient and see what treatment options I can offer to help with the patient's acute pain, whether that be anti-inflammatories, trigger point injections, or even dry needling. When I complete that process, at that point, I would refer the patient back to Dr. Hennington.
Yeah, it's actually been a really great concept because now the patient comes back into my part of the clinic and the inflammation has settled down and I'm able to deliver a much more specific chiropractic adjustment and get the patient more stable. The results are more immediate and the patient feels much better leaving the clinic. So we have found that the combination of chiropractic and medical together has really given the patient a different level of care.
I actually was a patient of Dr. Hennington's. I was pregnant at the time and another patient of his referred me to him.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story because in casual conversations she said, I'm finishing nurse practitioner school, and I just joked and said, well, that's funny, I'm looking for a nurse practitioner. And she kind of looked at me like serious for a minute and thought, are you really? And then, I said, well, I've thought about it because I've seen it work in other cities with some of my colleagues in some of the bigger cities, and I've always contemplated bringing it to Mississippi, but I knew I had to have the right personality because let's be honest, it's not easy to take someone from the medical field and put them in a chiropractic, more holistic environment. The patient has to, one, be educated, two, understand what we do, and three, be able to look at the patient from a whole perspective, a different perspective, but still keeping their medical hat on. And Jody fit all those criteria, and once we met, I started thinking, maybe I could really make this happen because I felt like I'd found the right person to work with, and it's turned out to be true. We have a good working relationship and it works well for the patient, and we kind of get along together too, so that helps.